Hi, Stu here. Just a very quick note to apologise for the sound quality from my side during the podcast. That's because it was recording on my laptop rather than through my proper microphone. Anyway, enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. Life could be miserable, life could be dark, so once again we are here to bring you a little bit of light and a little bit of joy. Hi Bradley, joined this week by my very special guest. Every week, he's always special. It's Stu. How you doing, Stu?
I am a special boy, yeah. I don't know how much special I bring to the table, with but I do my best. I try and make your life a little bit brighter whenever I can.
You always do. You always do.
Well,
these are getting a bit cheesy. We're going to end up hosting like a local radio station at drive time soon.
I know. Oh, God, yeah. We've got to shake the formula up, mate. Got to do it.
I know. Anyway, here's Shakin' Stevens. I don't know. Is that a modern music? I don't know.
No, not so much.
At least I got someone who is in music. I got that far.
He's in music. He's still alive. You're doing pretty well at the moment.
Fair enough. There you go. And he's not diddled any kids or anything, so we're still okay.
Nope.
At least I hope not.
Nah.
So yeah, safe option. Gonna go straight in for it. Do you know what else could be a safe option, Stu?
What's that?
Your favourite video game.
Yeah, this is true.
Have you been playing your favourite video game?
No, I haven't.
No.
I've not played my favourite video game for a long time. Well, I must do that.
What is your favourite video game?
Well, it's Nights into Dreams on Saturn.
Yes.
Which I also have on the PS2 because they did a version for the PS2 with an art book, which is a really nice addition. So I bought that. That's about 15 years old or something, maybe more than that. And I got it on PC as well. So yeah, all over the shop. Yeah.
Did you play it with the 3D controller?
Yes, I did.
Originally,
I did. Is
it still better with that? Because I tried playing it on, I want to say, I don't know, Xbox 360. It got released on that, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel the same. It felt like it needed the 3D controller. I don't know if it was just like my memory going, well, this isn't the right way to do it. Or what, but...
It does feel better on the dedicated controller. I don't know what it is. I think it might be because of how it doesn't pivot on a very thin axis, which most analog sticks do. It's got a much more resistance and a wider field of motion, and it does feel like it's been put together specifically for it. So yeah, dedicated controllers always the best. Yeah,
we need some kind of reimagining or even a sequel to Nights into Dreams. Maybe I don't know. Maybe set in a Wonderland or something.
You're taking the piss. Well, there was that sequel, Journey of Dreams, which is terrible, and the
Balan Wonderland,
Wonderworld,
which no one talks about.
I will buy that eventually when it's like $2.99 or something, just so I can say I've had a go. But usually Naka turning out to be a bit of a dodgy type has sullied things even further for me.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. You try and ignore it and just enjoy the games, and you're just like, oh, it's not fair.
No. But
yeah,
what have you been playing? That's what I'm intrigued about.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Modern video games. So, first of all, I've been playing a game that's an homage, shall we say, to the old 90s 2D cinematic platformer. Or, as its shortened title is, an homage to Flashback. Let's say that. I've been playing Full Void, which came out earlier this month. And basically it's a 2D pixel art puzzle platformer that's got all the cinematic stuff that you'd animations that you'd expect from Flashback and games of its ilk and stuff like that. It even does some of the hand drawn animations of a hand doing something that you get in flashback. So, you know, it goes completely homage. But it's a short experience, a couple of hours long. I think maybe three and a half hours from start to finish. Nothing over the top, nothing exceptional. Just looks really nice. It's a nice one evening experience that I thoroughly enjoyed. You play as like this teenage person. I'm not quite sure sort of like what their background is as a whole, but it's like you're just alone in this world, and there's this rogue AI that's trying to, from what I can understand, is trying to oppress the humankind, and you kind of end up just trying to survive that by going places like and platforming and things like that, learning like using your skills and so on. The story, it's just one of those, like, it's got environmental storytelling to it, and it was like, yeah, it's fine, but I just enjoyed the traversing the world and moving through the world, and yeah, it's minimalistic in all the right places. It's got like hacking games in it that are varied. So it doesn't do hacking and go, oh, it's the same hacking thing for every single thing. It varies them up a little bit, which is really cool. I like that. And yeah, it's really cool. Just enjoyable flashback-like. More of these, please. I quite like it. And it was only like, say, 2.5 to 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, nice. That's very similar to Lunark that I played as well, which got released about 2-3 months ago as well.
Thank you. Couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah, very similar by the sounds of it. But excellent as well. And that was a really good one. I really enjoyed Lunark. I think it's going to be up there in my top 10 of the year, I reckon, because it does everything right. It doesn't do anything wrong. I mean, there are areas it could push things a bit harder and a bit further, but as it stands, it's still an absolutely cracking blast. And like, look at this one as well.
Yeah, and I really like it. You can tell this is all hand animated. It feels hand animated, so it's not just one of those things. It looks like they've just put on the list of features or anything like that. The movement feels like it's a hand drawn thing, like you had with Flashback back in the day. And it's like there is some trial and error parts to the platforming and stuff like that, but it's got good checkpointing, which is always good, and it's not overly difficult. There's a couple of challenging parts, but for something to say that's just a couple of hours long, yeah, it just hits that nice sweet spot. Stick it on Saturday evening, finish it Saturday night, move on. But no, you've played something that's quite interesting.
Yeah, sounds good. There's for Lunark as well. If you go onto the Steam page, the page for where you buy it, there's video of the developer doing the rotoscoping, doing the animation, like as well. So yeah, taking it very seriously. But yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, rotoscoping. I'm a big fan. I like rotoscoping. I think I'd love to see that in a. I don't want to say like a AAA game or anything like that, but I think I'd love to see it in a bigger game. Not saying in terms of like bigger developers, but just something a bit more involved, like a rotoscoped. I know you don't like a Souls-like, but maybe a 2D Souls-like or something like that.
Yeah. I think mixing it up is always a good idea because it's like, was it Cruise for a Corpse uses it, doesn't it? And that looked amazing for the time as well. Still does look pretty good. So yeah, I think I'd like to see it. It's a good aesthetic choice. It's very, it's very intensive, isn't it? It's very, you have to put a lot of time and money and effort into doing it, even today. But yeah,
that's the thing. It's that time and effort that's needed can be a big put off for people. I think you've got to really, really want to do it, and it's probably why the games tend to be fairly short as well.
Definitely, yeah.
But what have you been playing? Have you been avoiding? No, I don't know. Full voiding the. I don't know. Tell me what you've been playing, Stu.
Yeah, let's just cut to the chase. I've been playing Cotton Rock and Roll, which in the standard terminology of these things doesn't make any sense, but if you know of it, the Cotton series is a series of horizontal shooters. It's been around for donkey's years. I'm not sure exactly what it first landed on, but there were Mega Drive games. So it's going back a fair while now. And they're pretty venerable, managed to last a long time. It's kind of strange because they've never really stopped. They've always been ticking along, and they've made a few little bits of innovations. It is surprising that it's one of the last men standing, as it were, even though lots of other stuff's fallen by the wayside or hasn't got like bumped forward or had new sequels made or anything. It's a bit weird that, but they got some really nice entries. The quality's really variable on them as well, but this one's a really good one, and what it does, it's a bit different. I mean, it looks, I don't want to say it looks like trash, but it doesn't look particularly amazing. So it looks passable, Some of the design is okay, but I mean, it's not...
Very chibi. I can see a lot of chibi girls.
Yeah. Very chibi, but not hand-drawn. Well, I mean, they are hand-drawn, but you know what I mean. It's not got a kind of pixel aesthetic. It looks old-fashioned without looking retro. It lacks a bit of detail, but some of the designs are really good. So, yeah, the implementation's obviously done a little bit on the cheap, but in terms of the mechanics, it's really good. And what it does differently is you get to choose from a lot of different characters. And to even further kind of hammer home that they're nicking stuff from Parodius, which is absolutely fine because nobody nicks from Parodius anymore. The game plays very, very differently depending on which character you pick. And there's like a character from Cyvaria, so you got the buzz mechanic if you pick them. You can pick Umahara Kawase. Well, what's she called? She's called Kawase, isn't she? From Umahara Kawase, which we were talking about the other week.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, we were talking about that one the other week. So you can pick that character, and yeah, they all do different things, and the way that it plays is very different depending on them. And the mechanics are spot on; they're really tight. And so far, it's a really, really good. It's really solid. As I say, it's unpretty, but that doesn't matter so much. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's a interesting looking one. I generally suck at these games. How accessible is it in terms of, like, as a horizontal shooter? Is it gonna kick my ass in the first level, or does it sort of like ease you into it?
I would say there are almost no accessible horizontal shooters. No. They're all kind of pretty brutal. As things go, this doesn't. The normal mode is not too bad from what I've played so far. You're always going to have a bit of a challenge, and it's always going to be a bit vertical. Like the first mission is not hard at all, and then the second one, you can choose your route. So you can choose, from about 4 or 5 different other routes to start on, and each one of them is very hard. Good for me anyway. So I'd say as these things go, it's fairly accessible, but horizontal shooters are not that accessible anyway.
I struggle. I do not have the reaction time anymore for those sorts of games.
Yeah.
And I sit there and just go, how did that one lone enemy get through all these bullets and just manage to hit me? Of course it's going to hit me. I suck at these games, and they make me feel miserable.
Yeah, that does happen. I would say, it's kind of middling.
And that's the fun, isn't it? That's half the fun.
It is half the fun. It is. Especially when it clicks and you realise that, it's not as hard as I thought. It's that I'm freaking out and therefore making mistakes. And if you learn the levels, you can, get a lot better at it. I'd say that if you're after one of those, there's 2 that I've played recently that are probably better for beginners. Excuse me. I'd say there were 2 I've played recently that are better for beginners. One's that Natsuki Chronicles. If you remember that one, which is, that's very attractive. Again, it's not really sort of pushing anything really hard, but it's attractive. It's a good one to get in on. And another one is, and let me just find the name of it because it's gone out of my head. And the other one is Drainus, which actually came out either the end of last year or the beginning of this. It's very recent. And that's got a much smoother learning curve as well. So, and it's also a very good game. So Draenus or Natsuki Chronicles, I'd say, if you want a comparatively recent horizontal shooter, and Cotton if you want to stretch yourself a little bit further.
Yeah, no, they're not for me. I'm not going to lie. I've tried. I keep trying.
Yeah.
I've got to admit defeat with those games one day. But because they were such a big part of what you would get in the arcades in the UK growing up, I still love them, even though I suck at them, and I don't actually enjoy them, but I still really like them. It's so weird. It's like the Beatles. No one, the Beatles are fine. Everyone the music probably has been better, but it's ingrained into you that you must find they're great because it's the Beatles or something like that. I think it's the same with horizontal shooters for a generation of people who grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. It annoys me because you know me. I'm not sentimental, and I'm like, there should be much more variety of how these things are structured and their difficulty. You shouldn't just go, oh, well, that's what was back in the day and that's what people love, so we can't change it. And it's it's the same for horizontal shooters. It's the same for Japanese RPGs. It's it becomes codified that they have to be 40 hours long, or that they have to be incredibly difficult, or that they have to have chibi characters, and it's just I don't mind there being ones like that, but where are the ones that are taking all the best elements and making something new, and changing it all up? So yeah, it's a shame. You should be able to go out there and buy something that fits the bill, basically, and you can't.
The original Defender, I can still play that.
Yeah, I find that really hard, but I think it's to do with the momentum. It's really clever. Yeah. I love it. But
I used to play it all the time. It was one of the only games I had on my Atari. And it's I have tried going back to it and I can't play it, but 6-year-old, 5-year-old me was really good at Defender.
That was, considering what the Atari was, that was an amazing port. That was.
Yeah.
Using the, because you used the paddle, didn't you? You could use the paddle.
Yes.
And it was, it was really good. I can't believe it was like 1K or something. I mean, it was still amazing.
They'd re-release that now. It'll cost 30 quid.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, not for me, those games anymore. But I'll probably, at some stage, see it in a sale and go, oh, God, I might be better this time. So we'll see.
Why not?
So, moving on. Another game I've been playing. Well, I've been playing a few, but I want to talk about this one specifically. But to lead into it, check out my review for Remnant 2 on the site. I've done a written review for that's gone up. Well, it'll be up as of now, as you are listening to it, which is a Souls-like looter shooter type game. It's really, really good, but stressful. So I needed something that will give me a bit of a relaxing experience, where there was no worries in the game whatsoever. So I've been playing Sticky Business.
Right.
Which is a casual shop game, I want to say.
Yeah.
But basically, you make stickers and you sell stickers, and that's the game.
Nice.
The more you sell, the more money you get, the more you unlock, the more different types of bits you can use for stickers. People order the stickers and you sell the stickers. You packet the stickers. You could send them out in fancy little boxes. You could fill those boxes with other things. It's even got a little thing where you can put a packet of sweets in the box as well with the stickers that you get with a lot of these little independent stores and things like that. There's no limit into what you could do with the stickers. So I made a Pride-based cat type sticker which sold really well, and you can mess up orders. There's no real trouble for doing so. You get told, oh, you buggered this one up, kind of thing. That's about it. But yeah, you end up just running this business about making stickers and selling stickers. And there's nothing really to it more than that. You get customers will tell you their stories in text form and in reviews and stuff like that of what they've bought. And it's charming as hell, and it's just lovely. You can sit and play it for ages. If you just fancy just a quick relaxing break from everything, then yeah, sure, do that. Build a sticker, sell it. I'm trying to elongate this because there's not much else to say, but I really, really like it. The idea of making stickers and packing them and selling them and getting the monies in from them is just great. It's just great. Honestly, it's brilliant.
Nice. Yeah. I played, the only one of those I've ever played is Recitaire or however it's pronounced. If you remember that one.
Yes, I keep saying Rosetta, but that's a stone, isn't
makes
it?
Sense. Let's call it that. So, yeah, no, that was about, 12, 13 years ago or something. So, a long time. But, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, not bad. They're not intended to be very complicated, these things, are they? They're just throw yourself out.
They're not, but I've played many of these where you end up having to min-max the game to get anything out of it. So it kind of goes, you've got to start sending it on, now you've got to pay for these, and you've got to do this, and you start getting stressed with it. There's none of that here. There's just no stress to it whatsoever.
Nice.
And yeah, it's not one of those where it's going, now you're doing this, but you're losing all your money, you're going to go bankrupt. None of it. And I can appreciate that, because there's loads of games that have got resource management and try and make you get to a fail state, and they're great. I love those games. I think they are brilliant. They replicate the idea of making your own business really, really well. But sometimes I just want to make gay stickers and sell them.
Yeah, totally. Who doesn't?
Yeah, that could be a review on their box if they want, or their their page. Sometimes you just want to make a gay sticker and sell it.
Yeah, that's true. We all have that urge.
But yeah, it's just, yeah, I just really, really like it. I'll pop it on for 5-10 minutes here and there, do some orders, off you go. I might even start a TikTok shop or so. I don't know if that's what people do in it, TikTok shops.
Yeah.
Sell that stuff.
I think.
Sure.
I would mostly just sell their bodies. I don't understand.
I have no idea. You could usually try and sell fake versions of retro machines and stuff, but anyway, yeah, but this make stickers, sell them, that's it, that's the game, but it's brilliant. Highly recommended. And you know what, I didn't actually realise, so I got a review code for this, I don't actually realise how much it was. It's only £8.50 as well. Nice. Which, for what, it's one of those games that will stay on your system and you'll play time to time for years. So, £8.50, and I reckon you'll get years of entertainment out of it. Personally, I think that's a really good price for something like this.
Yeah, well, it's true that you do get years of entertainment out of sticky business. So yeah, fair play.
I got through that entire thing without making a lewd comment, Stuart.
Yeah, I know. You can always rely on me.
I'm so proud of myself.
You were very mature. I
was.
It. Yeah, but low hanging fruit. Let's go for it.
Yeah, low hanging fruit. But yeah, lots of stuff coming up, by the way, soon. I've got so many games on the go that some I can't talk about yet, but I can't wait to talk about, like Vember. I just cannot wait for that one, but I think I've got to wait until like the 31st, so next week I think I can talk about that.
Oh, that's good.
And I can't wait, because it might be good, I don't know, but yeah. That might give you.
It sounds like you do know. Yes. You can't say.
But also, I just had an email through. Did you know we're getting a follow-up, I think, or a remake or whatever to Broforce?
Oh, we really? I enjoyed that game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Broforce Forever. Now, the last game I saw put a forever in its title actually ruined the idea of the game, and that was Super Meat Boy Forever. So, yeah. Forever at the end of a game generally doesn't, or a game doesn't usually mean great things, but we'll see.
True. Duke Nukem, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it is mocking that somewhat, because it's very much a tongue-in-cheek game, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah, that was the best thing about it. I mean, it was a decent enough, shooter, but the best thing about it was definitely the 80s references, the cheesy stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I might see if we can get hold of that one. 8th of August that comes out. Oh, it's a Devolver game as well. Why? How have I not known this was about?
Don't know. Because you normally...
because...
You stand for them, so...
Broforce Forever, the long-awaited free update to 2015's most patriotic video. It's a free update, that's why.
It's like DLC.
Yes. And here we go, look. Breaking news. To celebrate the pending launch, Broforce will be available at a recession-proof 80% off on Steam this Sunday. Now, that's one of those easy sales I think they could do, because I'm sure it's one of those games that everyone owns in some form or another.
Yes.
And I'm just checking, and yes, I own it. I've owned it on more than one because I've only played 22 minutes on Steam. So I must own it elsewhere because I've played plenty of that game.
I will definitely be buying the update.
But yeah, I might boot that up again and play through that, because why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, thank you, Devolver. You're still one of the good guys.
Yep, so far.
Weirdly slow week, Stu, in terms of life here, so I've got really nothing to add.
Yeah,
I don't know what to talk. Like, I feel like I should add something, and I don't know what. So, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet. If you've got anything to add or want to talk about, please do, because I'm ending this show really, really badly.
Oh, I know though. Let's keep things messed up as much as possible, because you get bored. You know, I don't get bored.
You do get bored of listening
None
to
of
me.
you. No, God no. You're not a sort of person you can get bored of, badly. You can say a lot about you, but getting bored of you is not one of the things.
I get bored of me, so
I think everybody who's not a complete narcissist gets bored of themselves.
yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, you know, a lot's been going on for me. Most of it's been like worky in some degree. But I could quickly talk about Oppenheimer, and like that's kind of interesting. Only in not just like talking about the film, which is a good film, but
That's the film that hasn't angered Ben Shapiro, isn't it?
that's the one. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Barbieheimer thing is really interesting, and it's kind of like there's been a lot of sort of debate generated around what makes a successful film, and the biggest takeaway for me at the moment is how nobody in Hollywood seems to learn from their mistakes, and they're so far down the route of everything has to have a massive opening weekend for it to make any money that they can't back out of it, and they seem to be intent on their own destruction. A lot like, you know, Oppenheimer and the bomb. So there you go, tied that back. But it's just weird, you know, because there's shitloads at the moment around, or maybe I'm just noticing it, you know, about climate change, especially because, you know, all the stuff that's going on in Europe particularly and all that. And we just, as human beings, seem completely incapable of making any change that would be beneficial for ourselves. We're like self-destructive to such an absurd degree that it's just becoming writ large now. Anyway, that was really broad ramble. I hope it made some sort of sense.
It did. Actually, it has reminded me as well that because of talking about Oppenheimer, it reminded me of Barbie, and it reminded me of Ben Shapiro doing his biggest cell phone yet. So, if you don't mind indulging me for a couple of minutes, Stu.
I will.
So, Ben Shapiro is very known for talking about how the use of pronouns is bad and blah, blah, blah and all that. And he says that what defines a woman is having a uterus. So any trans person shouldn't be able to describe themselves as a she or whatever, because you've got to have a uterus to be a woman. So Ben Shapiro goes to see Barbie, hates it, of course. Piers Morgan hated Barbie as well, by the way. So if you want to know whether you should go and see Barbie, Shapiro hated it, Morgan hated it, go see it.
You're right.
But anyway, in his rant, keeps referring to Barbie as a she. Now, the problem with that, Ben, as has been pointed out, is explicitly, apparently in the film, it is mentioned that Barbie and Ken have no genitals. Therefore, Barbie has no uterus. Therefore, according to Ben, you cannot refer to Barbie as a she. Yet Ben keeps referring to Barbie as a she, despite not having a uterus, but presenting as a woman. So is Ben now saying it's okay to present as a woman despite not having a uterus, and that's what makes you a woman? Or is Ben Shapiro full of shit as usual?
Oh, that's a toughie. I love the way these right-wing grifters will just like pick on any like tiny little thing to make a platform out of. It's the most tenuous kind of, I've got a few lolly sticks here that I've been, just finished a few lollies, got a few lolly sticks. I'll build an entire platform off it. Oh, it's just so crap. It's just it's that grift of I've got to stay in the public consciousness. Got to make my money. I've got to be popular, and it's just they're doing it off pain and trying to hurt people and people's ignorance. It's just terrible, but it's just fantastic that Barbie is doing so well and making an absolute ton of cash.
I know. I really want to go and see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. We're going this weekend. Yeah.
But Edith wants to go and see it with some friends of ours who live in Birmingham. But I don't know when that's going to happen, so I don't want to go and see it without Edith having gone to see it. Also, seeing as we got onto Piers Morgan slightly there, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to bring Piers Morgan into it. But again, it talks about their utter bollocks. In the World Cup, there is a trans player called Queen, Canadian. Now, you won't have heard much outrage about Queen, because Queen was born female, but identifies as non-binary, presents male, I think, in presentation as you go, but he's a transgender non-binary. That's their identity. They, them, they use. Now, for a long time, the right-wing grifters, your Piers Morgans, will often go, we can't let trans women into women's sports because they have an unfair advantage, blah, 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 blah. Trans women should play in men's sports, blah, 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 blah. Quinn is born female, is transgender non-binary, presents somewhat male, masculine to a degree. Guess what Piers Morgan doesn't want them doing? Does not want them playing female sports. Now, surely, Piers, you should want them to play in the Women's World Cup because they are women. They were born women according to you. They're not. They're transgender. They're non-binary. So, but you should want them to play there, not get angry at them being in the Women's World Cup. Is it about protecting women? Is it? Or, are we now talking about that, again, all your bullshit is all getting sort of like brought up a bit more? Sure. Because you're seeing also, they've all been, like, all the toilet stuff is really beginning to be thrown back in the grifter faces. Because now it's being pointed out that you don't want trans women in the bathrooms and you're basically you want to keep them out. So what you're saying is these people who are trans men who look extremely masculine, you're okay for them to go into women's bathrooms because that's what you said it should be. And it's all their arguments are coming back at them and they don't know what to do, the right-wing grifters. And I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It's just crazy. I saw a TikTok a little while back. Of a person who presents as a woman and identifies as a woman, but just happens to be, very masculine. I'm doing inverted commas,
Yeah.
In terms of the way that they present themselves, absolutely nothing to do with their chosen pronouns or anything like that. Literally, just like, I'm a woman. I present as a woman. I've never thought of myself as anything but a woman.
What we would traditionally in the previous days said a butch.
Yeah, exactly. Woman. Just somebody who's fairly, comparatively, masculine presenting in terms of their choice, and never ever been anything other than a woman to themselves, and they got harassed and thrown out for being a man or being like a man in the bathroom, and it's just again, purely generated by all this ridiculous hatred. And she's like, look, I'm a woman and you're doing all these things to me, absolutely disgraceful. Like you say, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. There's no through line that makes sense. It's just purely generated out of patriarchal fear of losing control, losing power and having to accept people. And it's that thing of, hatred can never create, it can only destroy, it can only pollute. And that's what it's doing. Yeah,
and I find it kind of funny. All you've got to do is wait long enough as well when they destroy themselves, because everyone's kind of looking, going, "Oh yeah, you're hypocrites. You're just what? You can't make that argument if that was your previous argument." Everyone's really getting onto them now. Oh no, I was a very good person today, Stu. I was in the waiting room at the foot clinic today, and there were two older people talking about stuff, and it got round to Harry Potter, and they were talking about the characters in Harry Potter and everything like that. Yeah. And one of them turned around and they were talking about Voldemort. and like he, and they was like referring to Voldemort was he and stuff like that, which is fine. And then one of them turned around and went, "Of course, I mean, we think that Voldemort's a man. Voldemort could be a woman." And all I'm sitting there going, "No, there's no way." Like they said, like Voldemort's quite Andromeda. So I'm like, no, there's no way that J.K. Rowling has written a character that would be could be any sex. There's no way. That she has done that whatsoever, and I was really good not to like sort of get involved with the discussion because, yeah, I know this stuff, but my voice, my mouth, words tend to flow out before I've had time to actually put them in the order, so I sound stupid sometimes. But you're really good at deciphering them and putting them in like a right order for me.
No, I think you do yourself a disservice. You totally articulating what you mean, and. Yeah, I know what you mean, particularly around Rowling. You know, it's kind of she's an awful person, but I think with a lot of these situations, it's because there's unresolved problems and mental health problems they have themselves, and get the positive feedback loop they get from identifying a group of people who always have their back and always support them is something that they lean on. And, you know, I think that happened with Graham Linehan when he's going through his divorce. It's happened with Rowling when she was, identifying things within her writing that we don't agree with, which came from a TERF background, a TERF thing of, feminists are losing the war, they're losing the front. We've taken so many steps forward. This feels like a huge step back, which of course is a massive oversimplification of what's happened in feminism over the last 10 years. So I can see where it comes from, and even though I don't agree with it, I understand its root cause. And it would be so good if she could understand that root cause and do something about it, Because
get some help as well.
Help.
Learn, educate. Mistakes are fine. Just learn from the mistake.
There's nobody in their right mind who is out there being fueled entirely by hatred, who isn't either doing it for money or doing it because they've got some sort of break, some sort of mental health issue. They're the only reasons that it ever happens. And, you can see it with Kanye, who's like completely consumed by his issues, and you can see it by, Piers Morgan, who's completely consumed by power and money. Yeah. It's the biggest red flag ever. If you ever find yourself siding with somebody you hates, then you're in the wrong. It's that simple.
Yeah, have a quick look at what you're doing. Most people can find their way out. Right, before we do, and I do shut up, I do want to touch on, we're not going to talk about it this week because we don't know enough information yet. But Shuhada Sadaqat, many people probably still only know her as Sinead O'Connor, passed away this past week. And she was suffering from a lot of mental health issues. We don't know what the cause of death was. We're not going to comment on any of that this week until we know more. But I do want to point out she was an amazing woman who gave up, who was willing to end her own career for the protection of children, and for doing what was right. And yeah, she deserves to be remembered, but we will talk about her, I'd imagine, in a later episode when we know more about why she passed, what caused her passing. But it's terribly, terribly sad and fraught with those who love her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I only found out when we found out about her sad death, I only found out that she'd lost her son a few years ago as well, which is terribly sad. And it just seems like a life that was filled with a lot of challenge and difficulty. And it goes to show that it doesn't matter how famous you are or popular or rich or, what a celebrity, if you've got problems internally, then it's going to be a tough life. And yeah, so sad, so talented, and so obviously caring about people outside of her own circle as well. That it's a real loss.
Yeah, definitely. And I said we will talk about it more down the line, but just not yet because we'll be speculating, and I don't want to do speculation. So with that being said, I'll shut up now. Stu, take us out.
I will, yeah. So hopefully you've all had a good week and a good week to come. Enjoy the weekend. And as usual, follow us on all the socials. Make sure you join our Discord if you want to chat. And apart from that, stay safe and stay sane.